Today we're talking about how God gives us no grace for our imaginary problems. This is, I'm telling you, a life-changing concept. Please hang with me for this. This is one of the best ways to lower your stress levels and to have more peace, and it's to stop chewing on imaginary problems. So God gives us an equal amount of grace for your current challenges, right? He gives you a cross and he's like, "Hey, Sterling, I love you and I want you to carry this cross for me." And you get to participate in the salvation of all the souls by uniting your suffering with my suffering on the cross. It's an amazing thing. And we have this belief that we get to participate in the crucifixion, redemptive suffering, that when we suffer well with the Lord, that it means something. And I love that. And God is so good. That's evidence of his goodness that he says, "Hey, I'm going to invite you into this incredible thing and that you get to be part of this story." Okay? So he gives us enough grace to carry the cross of today. I'm Sterling Jakewith. I have 6 kids and I've been teaching Catholic moms how to have more interior peace for 10 years, and I can help you do that. But he does not give you any grace for your imaginary problems. So let's say we've got a 5-year-old boy and he's struggling to learn how to read. And your brain goes, "Oh no, he's going to be terrible at school and he's never going to get a job. And maybe he's not going to go to college. And then maybe no girl will want him and he's never going to get married. And then maybe he's going to be unsatisfied with his life and he's not going to believe in Jesus anymore. And then he's going to go to hell." I'm not saying that that's what our brains do, but sometimes they do. And the Lord is sitting there like, "Hey, love, hey, that was a wild story that you just made up in your mind right now. And like, ugh, I just checked the grace inventory and I don't have any grace for you because that's not what's going to happen." Right? And so you're trying to carry something really heavy and you're like, "Lord, could you help me carry this thing?" And he's like, "Actually, I don't want you to carry that. Could you set it down? Could you set it down for me?" Whereas like, if you've got a kid right now who's 3 and cutting some teeth and throwing the biggest angry fit that you've ever seen in your whole life, I promise you, you're going to have enough grace to handle that situation. It's in front of you. You can just be like, "Is this a lot right now? And I can handle this. And this is right in front of me and I can do this and I have grace. The Lord is with me. I can pray for one of the gifts of the Holy Spirit. Watch my video on gifts of the Holy Spirit. And I'm going to have enough strength and wisdom and all the things to handle this right now." Okay? If your teenager gets in a car accident, that sucks. Right? And obviously there's like fender benders and then more serious ones, right? But whatever it is, you're going to get enough grace for that problem. For those of you with adult children, if you've got a girl and she's living with her boyfriend, you're going to have enough grace for having lunch with her. Well, you know, she's living with her boyfriend. You don't like it? It's not okay. But this human is in front of you and you can love her and God's going to give you grace and wisdom and the words that you need in that moment. But your imaginary problems about the things that she's going to face in the future, or her walking away from her faith, or her having children out of wedlock, or whatever it is that you're worried about, you just don't get any grace for that right now. So it feels really heavy. And if you're not sure, you can ask the Lord about it. You can say, "Lord, are you asking me to carry this right now?" But most of the time, I find, unless it's actually happening right now, the answer is no. The answer is no. Now, you might see some writing on the wall for something that's coming. Like, let's say, this is a kind of a fake example, but my daughter, she works at this teriyaki restaurant. She's about to turn 15. And there are 2 super cute boys there who are like super Protestant, homeschool boys, like amazing boys. So kind, so gentlemanly, you know. I don't think she likes either of them in like a romantic-y crush kind of way. But I did feel in that moment, moved by the Holy Spirit, I was driving her home one day to be like, "Hey, have we talked about why it's pretty challenging to marry a Protestant boy, even if he's amazing and even if he loves Jesus so much and he reads his Bible every day and we love that. Love me a Protestant boy who loves the Lord, okay? But probably not great to marry one." I felt the stirrings of the Holy Spirit to tell her that, but I am losing no sleep over it. I'm not chewing on this problem. I'm not like, "Oh no, what if she falls in love with one of these boys? And then like his parents are, and then what if she converts him? And then his parents are mad at me because my daughter is like pulling their boy into Catholicism." Like, all of that is wildly made up. And I just don't get any grace for that right now. So I'm not saying that there isn't a matter of like prudence or seeing where things are going And that might lead to the Lord giving you wisdom to say something to the person in front of you, like, hey, maybe it isn't a great idea to move in with your boyfriend. But he doesn't give you grace for the drama, like the dramatization, the story that you're creating because of that. And then, of course, the worst story that we tack on to the end of all of it is, and I've totally failed my kids and I'm a bad mom. Okay, that's the one that we tack on, which is like, I'm a really bad mom. And so, listen, this is such a huge, huge concept. God only gives you grace for the problems that he wants you to carry. If you are feeling right now like life is so heavy and you're having a hard time coping with life, my guess is that you're carrying something that he has not asked you to carry. Okay? And another really subtle, sneaky, maybe spiritual attacky way that we do this is the way that we talk to ourselves all throughout the day. Okay? So if you want to learn more about being aware of how you talk to yourself throughout the day, which is probably pretty mean. That's going to be my guess. It's not sunshine and roses in there. It's like probably pretty mean. The soundtrack is what I call it. The soundtrack of your life is like pretty negative and defeated and full of guilt and pressure. It's not a good time in there. So if you want to learn more about how to change that, I want you to watch this video. I'm going to help you clean up what's going on in your mind, and all of a sudden your life is going to feel so much lighter. All right, I'm praying for you. Pray for me and have a blessed day.